Much appreciated. All right, you guys are just in time for the haircut story. Hold on. Let's go get some visual aids here. It's Friday night, and I am headed over to RISC, Rumble in SoCal, which of course is happening over in Riverside, California. And thankfully, Shubu, Jerry, and Edwin are gracious enough to pick me up from the airport. So after a couple layovers, I land, I think like midnight, and it's pretty late. And I had already eaten something at the airport, but after like 8 hours of travel from the East Coast over to the West Coast and hopping a couple time zones, I was feeling pretty hungry too. So we head over to this place. It's called, the acronym is SND. I forget the actual like full name off the top of my head. But we had, hey, my book hotel! Hey, my bookmarks! I mean, there's nothing incriminating. It's okay. Sundongdan, yes, SND. So it was very tasty. A spot over, not quite Riverside. It was like 40 minutes in some geographical direction, but also near where we were staying with Shuabu, right? So this place, let me go find it. Sundongdan. I don't know which location it was actually, because my geography is quite bad. It was not Los Angeles, so I'm gonna assume this one. So we're over here, and it's open quite late, which is very nice for us because we are coming back from the airport. It's like another 30-40 minutes to get to dinner, and by the time we get here, it's like 1 a.m., right? But this place is open 24 hours, so we're like, hell yeah. And apparently, the SoCal Special, well, this isn't part of the SoCal Special, but it is part of the Shuabu Special, because apparently he fucking loves this spot. And we walk in, and I'm looking through the menu, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, let me get some water, whatever. A couple of us, get some Diet Coke, some Coke Zeros. And I realize I'm the only one looking at the menu. And the waiter comes back around, and Jerry's like, oh, are we cool with the usual? And I'm like, what's the usual? He's like, I'm gonna get us the large Galbi Jim with cheese. I'm like, I couldn't find it on the menu in time, but he was like, yeah, just let me know if that sounds good. I'm like, man, I've been up since like 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and now it's 1 a.m. Pacific. Like, I'm just gonna take your word for it. It sounds good. And we're chilling out, we're waiting, we're kind of eating the banchan while we wait. Delicious kimchi, delicious rice cakes, a couple green onions on the side too. So we're vibing out. And what finally comes out to the table, I don't have the video on hand, but it's this. Let's see, do they have a... It's this, right? But imagine this 8 times as tall. Is there like a side view? Yeah, this, but 8 times as tall. And it just comes out to our table, and it is covered in cheese as well, right? So, wait, is there... Yeah, basically this, actually. I didn't realize that they would have the autofill. So this, and then they took a big-ass blowtorch to it and just set that shit on fire. I was like, oh, cool. So we're eating this. It's like 1, 2 a.m. And, we're vibing out at dinner. It's very delicious. Big fan. And then by the time we get back home, it's like 2:30. And while we're, enjoying the conversation, there's an undercurrent of unrest. Because me, Jerry, and Edwin are going to go to an 8:30 a.m. haircut. So why are we going to an 8:30 a.m. haircut? Why are we going there so early? None of us had any particular plans that Saturday, so we weren't in a rush. But our friend Luce, Blaze Blue, Uni player, etc., assorted anime fighting game player, wanted to play Blaze Blue at RISC, which started at 1. And the place that we're getting this haircut is like 40 minutes, I think, south, or 40 minutes away from the venue. And he's like, dude, the shop is the best. The haircut is only $18, but there's only 2 dudes in there. There are only 2 old Korean men in Hyungjae Barbershop, and they take 30 minutes per person. So depending on who else is gonna be there, we gotta get there early to make sure that we have enough time. We're like, you know what? If all the lads are doing it, I'm gonna pull up. It's a bros bonding experience. How bad could it be? There's only like 5 of us. So it was Komome, Shuabu, myself, Jitsu, Luce, and Knots. So we meet up. It's like 8:30, bright and early. And we're delirious, right? Because we drove over after getting to bed, I think around like 3. So we're like 4.5, 5 hours of sleep. And then we drove over to Hyungjae Barbershop. And we're waiting, and Knots and Luce are already there. So they get their number in the queue, and I think they're like number 5 and 6. So we're like, okay, cool, let's walk in, let's get our numbers. We walk in, they hand us 3 pieces of paper. We see 15, 16, and 17. And we go over to Knots and Luce, and we're like, yo, what numbers did you guys get? It was probably like, 10 or 11, right? Like, what time did you guys get here? They're like, we got here like 15 minutes ago. We're like, okay, cool, what'd you get? They're like, 5. And we're like, that is a big gap in between our numbers, right? And you have to remember, 30 minutes for each haircut, and with two dudes running the shop, like let's say it's an average of 15 minutes. I don't know, 5 to 15, 150 minutes minimum if there are no interruptions, no downtime. I don't know, that's like 2.5 hours already, but we're already locked in for the bit, So I think like an hour passes by, and then Knots and Luce are able to get their haircuts, and then 30 minutes 45, we're good. This is like 10:30, right? So we're chilling, and we're like, all right, cool. Knots looking good, Luce looking good, but we're still waiting for me, Shuabu, and Komome to get our numbers called, and it's taking quite some time. It's also cutting into lunch, right? They have a sign out front that's lunch 12 p.m. and we're like, wait, if it goes into lunch at best there's only going to be one barber, so now it's slowing down to the full 30 minutes in between numbers. Like, I don't know if we're gonna make it, man. And thankfully, Luce is kind of going back and forth because we're like, dude, you made us come out so early and you're gonna leave while we're waiting for our haircuts to play Blaze Blue. He's like, dude, but I already signed up. And we're like, no, that's sunk cost fallacy, man. You could be hanging out with the bros. We're gonna get pho, we're gonna get ice cream after this. Like, it's gonna be awesome, and you're gonna miss it because you got here early and got your haircut before us. He's like, all right, man, when you put it like that, maybe I'll stick around. So he's kind of going back and forth on it. But Knots, the saint he is like, yeah, I don't have anything to do today. Like, I could leave, but we came together. We came as a crew. I can't be leaving early just because I got here 15 minutes early. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna stick it out with the lads. And we're like, all right, Knots is a real one. So we're waiting. It's like 10:30. It's 11. It's 11:30. And we're coming up on lunchtime. We're like, oh, we're losing hope, man. And they're only on like number 10 or 11. So we were pacing outside. We were just talking about random shit. Then we started sitting inside. Then it started drizzling a little bit. And I think it was better he went to play CF because now we waited for nothing. Yeah, but he had the pressure from Shuabu, right? Because Shuabu was like, you're going to make us wait and you're not going to get pho with us? I think that's kind of fucked up, man. And I was like, now look, Luce, I'm not picking a side here. That being said, it's definitely funnier if I egg you on to have this internal conflict about what to do. So I'm just going to agree with Shuabu here. And he's like, no, what do I do? I got to play with the boys. But we're waiting, like 12 hits. It gets even slower. 12:30. We're like getting delirious, man. We have like exhausted conversation topics. We talked about Japan. We talked about our travel plans until like 2027. We talked about people in the scene. Like we ran out of chismis. There are no other conversation topics left. The dialogue tree was like exhausted. And finally, at 1 p.m., we see someone leave the shop. A familiar old face, a familiar old Korean man, calls out number 15, and we like swarm the fucking store. We're like, holy shit, we're about to see the beginning of the end. The promised land is finally here. And we file in. We do our haircuts. We go back to back. The second old Korean man comes back from lunch. So I'm sitting here next to Shubu waiting to get my haircut done. I wish I had the picture. Wait, let me see if I can find it. I gotta show you guys this picture. Because he asked me, like, okay, what do you want? Like, how is this gonna go down? I gotta find it, hold on. Has picture or has image from Jitsu. Let's go find this. Let's go find out how to say thank you. Hey, it's May. Thank you for the follow. What's good, gamer? Hope you're doing well. From Jitsu. Why is the from Jitsu not working? Strange. Jitsu has image. I know we're killing the flow of the story here, but we gotta. Oh, is it because I'm in streamer mode? All right, I'm disabling streamer mode. From Jitsu has image. This is important for the bit. Like we gotta find this damn picture. Thanks for being the goat the other day. Don't worry, no problem. Thanks for the kind words. From Jitsu has image. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're almost gonna find this picture. I just gotta jump. Open in browser. And let's open it up here. So he asks me, how would you like your haircut? Yeah, what kind of 2-block? So they were telling me, they're like, all right, the haircut's very cheap. They take a little bit, but they're very nice. Though that being said, they kind of only have a few haircuts in their repertoire. One of them being the 2-block. And I was like, you know, man, we're already here. I'm just going to roll the dice. So he tried to ask me to explain what kind of haircut I wanted. And then I just show him this picture. I'm like, can you do this? And he pauses for a second. I can hear the hesitation in his voice. And he goes, okay, 0 or 1 on the sides. I'm like, I'll take a 1. And then I left my life in his hands. Now, I'll tell you, this is not the hairstyle that I left the store with. I'll tell you that much. But that being said, you know, he did his best. It's quite a bit shorter than I expected. I was like, oh, maybe just like a little bit off the top. And you know, he really took a machete to the top of my head. I'll tell you that much. But we finished our haircuts finally, and we checked the time. We got there at 8:30. Right, 8:30 in the morning. This shit opens 8:30 a.m. We left, and it was 2:30. 6 hours had elapsed from us pulling into the parking lot, getting our numbers, and Komome finally finishing up his haircut. And we get back into the car, and it's like, you know the Rick and Morty scene where they just get back into the spaceship and they just look like traumatized? Like they're just glad it's over at that point. We dialed in. We went to Faholic. I don't know which one it was in particular, but let's assume it's this one, right? And we sat down. That pho was some of the best shit I've ever had in my life, man. I was thinking this is what kept me going throughout the experience of waiting the 6 hours. Obviously, the company of the bros as well very much helped, but you know, when we were getting into the delirium, man, this shit, visions of this saved me. Like if I had a picture of this in a locket, like how dudes in the military get like pictures of their wives, I would have the number 2, the steak, and I think it was like steak and brisket pho. That shit was so good, man. The broth was delicious. It was rich, but it was clean. Oh my god, it was so damn good, man. It was delicious. Almost as delicious as the Toriku raid. Thank you for stopping by. What's good? Toriku is funny because that's like the that's the first part of one of Shubu and Komome's favorite spots in Japan. But that being said, we were not at the Toriku Kazu. We were at Faholic, and we got food. Unfortunately, you know, my stomach was kind of doing backflips for unfortunate reasons. But that being said, it was still delicious. We got some Vietnamese coffee. It was really good. I think a bunch of us got like a side of spare ribs. I forget, you know, what the specific side was in particular. But that shit was so good, man. And then we went over to damn Soon Scoops. Let's see if they have pictures of the flavor names. I don't know if we can actually see them. But anyway, while you guys are here, thank you for stopping on by. Had tears in my eyes not going to a drive-thru banh mi. Dude, I didn't know they had, what is it? Carrot and daikon. You know they have drive-thru banh mi in SoCal? This shit is so fucked up, man. I can't believe that I don't have this in my hometown. This is evil work. I cannot believe it. High price shower. Yeah, that raid notification is pretty sick, no? I don't know if the audio balance on the raid notifications are particularly stellar, but, you know, we'll take it. We'll also take the follows from Noir Silence and Dead Fracture. Thank you. Much appreciated for stopping on by, gamers. I don't think I've ever heard my name pronounced so nicely before. Kirbio immediately being like, well, I'm actually pronouncing it correctly, so. Raging struck on the car is crazy, though. I'm gonna say. Drive-through banh mi would be life-changing. That's what I'm saying, man. Okay, this, I don't love, actually, maybe this is the one. This looks like the sliced compressed meat. I don't know if this is the one that I love. I love, my favorite is the banh mi thit nuong. And I'm sure I am, like, butchering the pronunciation. But god damn, this shit is so good. This is not what we got, because at Faholic, they did not have sides of banh mi. But my stomach wouldn't have been able to handle it either way. He said my fault. No, you're good. Splutoto, thank you for the follow. Oh my god, I gotta close this damn picture, man. This is from the haircut story. That one we can put that one away for now. But yeah, we went to Soon Scoops, and Soon Scoops is like an, I guess, anime-inspired ice cream shop down in SoCal that they have a lot of collaborations. So they had the Rosemi Lovelock collaboration. Recently, just this past weekend, they had Neopets. So they have a lot of like anime-inspired flavors, at least in name, right? So you can see here they got the Pichigo Kurosaki, they got the Gomint Nasai, which they did not have. Shubu really wanted this one to be on the menu, but it wasn't there. The Banani, oh that's crazy, man. A Grape Stay Night, yo, that shit would go so hard. But oh no, this is on the right side of the freezer, so it actually would go hard. So if we look here, there are two freezers next to each other, right? This right side, you know, which is the first one you come in when you get online, and then this left side. Apparently, we did not know this, but this left side is dairy free. Oh my god. What do you mean? Oh my god. Okay, so the left side is dairy-free ice cream, but we did not know that because the line was so long that everybody was standing in front of the freezer, so we would have no reason to like look down here, man, when I'm getting my eyes assaulted by fucking Gomint Nasai and Bleachigo Kurosaki. So I had no reason to know that this left freezer was dairy-free, which is to say, you know, to call it ass feels a little disrespectful, but it's definitely not the ice cream that I go for, right? But you guys might have seen the video from Shubu. Let me see if I can find, you know, I'm not pulling up my Twitter for the stream. You guys got it. If you go to Shubu's Twitter, you can see a video of me trying out the uwube, which is just ube, which is so hard to mess up that I was like, no, this shit seems delicious. Like, I gotta try it. But me, with my biblical greed, instead of getting one scoop, I got 2 scoops because I was like, I gotta try out another flavor. And over on this left side, you can't, it's not in this picture. They had a flavor called Cherry Tail. And I was like, ooh, cherry's also really good. Like, it can't be bad. How do you fuck up cherry? Apparently this is how you fuck up cherry. By putting in dairy free. There was cherry, but no dairy. What a damn world. You see why this cow was so pissed? Because I'm saying mean things about a reputable establishment. I need to relax. I did not finish that ice cream. So that obviously, you know, I got the ube first because it's on the right side, and then we move over to the left and I got the cherry tail. I got like a third of the way through the cherry tail, bit enough to like make a sizable space in it, and then I just ate the ube from under it. I felt so bad because I had to go back into the store to throw out the rest of the cherry tail, but it was not my favorite sweet treat. I'll tell you that much. Also, I tried to get Knots to take a picture with the Kabedon mural, but he was just like ignoring it. He was looking at the cabinets of, you can't see it here, but over to the left here off screen, they had a bunch of statues and like merch that commemorate the collaborations that they had. So he was staring at that, and I was like, Knots, you gotta take a picture with this Kabedon guy, man. He's like, where is it? I'm like, it's to the left. And he's like pretending not to know what I'm talking about. I'm like, this dude, man. We finally get to the end of the line. He sees the mural. He's like, Yeah, I'm not. I'm not doing that. I was like, man, come on. You gotta have a little fun. So we did not get the Knots Kabedon picture, unfortunately. Oh, but we catching up on the activity log here. We did get the follow from Toriku, so thank you. Oh my god. So, I have a few channel points rewards that I forgot about a while back. And I cleared out the ones that don't really apply anymore. But one that I did not remove was the voiceover request. And I just didn't think that, you know, I didn't think that we would get this far. I didn't think someone would save up their points. So I guess Noah, you know what? You DM me, you let me know what you want recorded. Obviously, I have the right to say no, but, you know, I'll let you know. I'll probably post it on Twitter or something. When am I going to implement the 3-sword style like Zoro? Oh, I already closed the picture. I'm too late. I'm too late on the chat. This is what I get for telling a story. Is this the Uwube flavor incident? It is. It really is. You have a Knots Kabedon picture? There is one in the world? Oh, that's why he didn't. That's why I didn't want to do it, man. Because he already had that shit on lock. I see. The website has the full flavor rotation? All right, I'm kind of curious. Oh my god. This is insane, man. What did they have when we were there? They didn't have this. They did not have that. I would have tried Choto Latte, to be honest. That sounds delicious. I'm not really a lime kind of guy. This was not here. Uwube was there. I don't think Banani was. This was definitely not there. I would have remembered this one derogatory. It would have been etched into my mind. Cow said, don't worry, I'm a fat ass. What happened? What do you mean? Fuselit. What's good, gamer? I didn't realize you were here. What's poppin'? When the fuse is lit. You guys are doing CAG Kart Soccer in the NA1 lobby? Dude, I gotta be a little bit more goofy in the lobby. I gotta have more fun. This whole ranked grind shit, it's tearing away at my soul. It's making me a lesser human being. I've become a gremlin. Not to be confused with this gremlin. What? You gotta be kidding me, man. I look up Gigi Murin, and the first 3 pictures are her genmate. I don't even... If I didn't know what a VTuber was, and I was like, oh, I hear so much about this Gigi fella, I would think she was a white girl with green hair. Right? This is inaccurate. I'm really scared to hit images on this, but let's go to the fandom. Yeah, not this gremlin, but I'm turning into a ranked gremlin, all right. It's like taking my life away. Anyway, I would have defenestrated him. Did I get a pick with the Kabedon? I did not get a pick with the Kabedon, unfortunately. I should have. Unfortunately, the tummy was doing backflips at the time. I was losing whimsy. I said words of all time to Komome, but you know, that's what happens when you're a little nauseous. Didn't that place also have a Guilty Gear collab? I heard they did. Yeah, there were a bunch of other collabs too. At the time, they were doing the Neopets collab. I saw Yuzu on ice. I thought of Yuzuriha. You know, I'd be mad that Fuselit is calling me J-Stew, but that's also what my nameplate was for like the entire top 8 over at RISC. So can I really be too mad? He's just reading the screen, man. We wanted the Kabedon pick. Yeah, don't we all? It's okay. It means I have an excuse to go back to Sin Scoops. I just noticed the typo now. No, you're good. I thought you were doing it on purpose. I thought we were all in on the joke. You can get mad. Yeah, I'm mad. I'm pissed. What else did we do that day? Oh, we went to round 1. How could I forget, man? So, I think, did anyone else join us? Oh, so after a haircut, I forgot. Ricky stopped on by. I feel bad that I'm calling everybody else by their tag and then just like doxing Ricky, but I do not know his tag. I just know his name. So it was 6 of us. 6 of us went to Pho, 6 of us went to Sun Scoops, and then we made our way over to round 1. So we were there for the HoloLive collab. So they had the Nessos, so like the big like lying plushes of Fuawa, Mokoko, Iris, and Gura. So they did not, oh my god, I forgot they didn't have Fubuki either. So they didn't have the big plushes of Ina, Fubuki, or Okayu. And I was so sad, man. I was like, I'm trying to get the Ina Nesso. But thankfully, you know, a couple friends a while back, you know, Kirbio and Kobe were kind enough to claim me an Ina Nesso. So life is good. We'll take it. We'll take it. But yeah, Okayu, Fubuki, and Ina were not there. The small charms were, and the keychains were, but the big ones were not. So I was like bouncing back and forth between trying for a Fuawa and an Iris, but I did not get any of them. But I think Knots ended up pulling like 2 or 3. Kamome got 3. I think he got Fuamoko and Gura. And then what did Shuabu get? I think Shuabu got Iris, Gura, Mokoko? I think. Who else? Who else got stuff? I think Knots just got Fuamoko and he was like, alright, I'm chilling. But let me try and find it. So they didn't have the small chibis, and they didn't have all the Nessos, but they did have all of these. So Randy went up to one of the small cranes, and then there was only 3 of the small Ina ones left. So he gets number 1. Shuabu pulls up, he takes number 2, and I'm like, oh man, I only have 1 swipe left on my card, and there's only 1 Ina left. I'm gonna wait and flag down an attendant to put it in an easier spot so I can, you know, just get the one last swipe. So I'm standing around there. I'm trying to game the system a little bit, be a little money efficient. And then Knot sees me standing by it, and he's like, "Oh, are you gonna try and get the last one?" I'm like, "Yeah, I would like the Ina one. You know, they don't have the big Nesso, but I'd like to get something before I leave." And he looks at it and he's like, "Oh yeah, these are pretty easy. Like, I think you can get them in one go." And I'm like, I mean, you know what, Knots? If you believe in me, I believe in me. And then I lock in, I swipe, I move the crane, and it was a one touch. It was so good. So I'm very happy that I have this one on my satchel bag now. That was pretty cool. Or I guess my cross shoulder sling, whatever we call it, my fanny pack. All right, let's catch up on chat once more. Did production call you J Stu on purpose? They had it right during pools. And then, you know, it's easy to mistype, to be fair. I won't hold it against them. They did a very good job throughout the rest of RISC, and it was a long weekend, so, you know, if that's the only minor blow up, like, that's okay. You know what would go harder? Instead of a regular Kavedon, they do the leg Kavedon. Nah, that shit's insane, man. I was in jeans. I'm a strong little dude, but I'm not flexible like that. You can get mad, be filled with rage, but I have to present to the people, man. I can fill myself with rage when I see you at the next WASD live. Not the one this Saturday, but the one in December. You guys know all this Werb guy does is say mean things about Satono Diamond to me. And Vivlos. What a world, man. This dude works in the damn ice cream factory. You'd think he'd have a little more whimsy. Just for that, let's run a first to 5. I might be first to 5'd out, to be honest. I might be ranked out. I feel like I'm in yapper talking mode. I don't know if I have more ranked in me. Even though it says, you know, Granblue in the title, now we're just going for the Zatsudan. But I think, you know, we got the classic VTuber just chatting stream OST, so it was destined. It was predetermined. The car ride to round 1 is its own event. Yeah, that one's DLC. You guys get to find out what happened there if you sub to the $100 tier on my Patreon. I have a friend who paid someone $100 in SoCal to roll at the round 1 for them. $100 gets you, I think, kind of far. I think what we determined through experience, or like kind of, you know, we figured after trying a bunch of times with the big crane, like, it's just RNG how tight the actual claw is going to grip. Like, sometimes you have the perfect positioning. You have it like dead center on a flat, on the flat ball, because it's not the plush itself, but it's like a ball that if you grab it and then put it in, you flag down an attendant, and then they grab a plush from inside. You can have like 10 perfect pulls and then have it not work, and then on the 11th, you'll do the same thing, and then it'll grip. So I think what we determined is that, like, it's just RNG when it actually has a winnable pull, but you have to position it correctly on that pull. So That's how it ends up going. $100 will probably like get you 1 to 2 Nessos, I think. Did I get any of the holo merch? So at Climax, a friend picked me up the towel. So that one's cool. That one's kind of just chilling in my cabinet. Did I get anything else? Not really. They didn't have any of the cafe drinks. I would have gotten the Ina Cola. Actually, which one would I have gotten? Strawberry cream soda would be a maybe, but I think I might have to go with the mango cola here. Oh, strawberry lemonade sounds really fucking good too, to be honest. Did you see someone leak the specialty drink recipes from the event? Don't tell me. I don't want to know. Don't break the veil. Powerade Fizz is probably literally just Powerade on ice, to be honest. Oh, Caillou shall come to Frosties. You're my goat. The scalping's pretty bad? Yeah. Good thing there are no scalpers in this chat room. Wink wonk. I would never allow a scalper in my chat room. Actually, I actually don't think there are any scalpers in my chat room. I think if you go in and you get one of each and you like sell 1 or 2 to a friend, I think that's fine. That's okay. Now, if you're going in for the express purpose of like reselling that shit at 200% value and you don't even keep a single one for yourself, like you are not in it for the love of the game, man. You're a demon. Yeah, and it's from people who don't watch HoloLive too. Yeah, that's the shitty part. Shuabu separates the twins. Oh my god, wait, you're right. He only got Mokuko and no Fuola. Let's see. So many chatters. Thank you guys for stopping on by the way. I know I'm being a little slow with catching up on chat. I'm glad to see you guys stopping on by. I'm glad we get to catch up after coming back from SoCal. What else do I want to do? It would be nice to rewatch Battle Coliseum, because that's the only one. I got to see Astral Finish. Didn't get to see Battle Coliseum, which is where Ryazo got his Platinum Qualifier. And obviously I was over at RISC, so. Be nice to rewatch. It'd be good to do a little bit more watch-along content, I think. Even if I'm not the greatest analyst there ever was. Like, 1, it helps keep me up. 2, if we're watching it together, you guys can... let me know if I'm missing any crazy technology in particular. So it'd be a good learning experience for both of us. Or mostly a good learning experience for me. And then you guys are, you're helping the commentator you gotta hear all the time yapping on these damn Granblue mics, say things that are accurate. We're all helping the community in our own way. Get so mad it drives you mad, so true. How many subs for the car story? Hell no. That one's staying under wraps. Also because it's like not... Okay, it's kind of funny. It's like kind of a funny story. Not the movie about the guy in the mental hospital, but it's a little bit of a funny story. It's only funny because it worked out well. If anything had gone like a little bit worse, it would not be a funny story. Anyway, now that we finished the climax stories, now I gotta get into what a good amount of you folks have been waiting for. The dreaded SoCal car story. What's an appropriate picture to put up here? I guess this. Close to the rest of these. Oh my god, there's so many damn pictures. Climax was very fun. So many memories to go through. Actually, do I have any pictures from... Do I have any pictures from SoCal that I can put up while I tell this story? Yeah, this story actually has me in Jatsu pain. It's so unfortunate. I gotta sleep. Have a good stream, Jatsu. Thank you for stopping by, Ryer. Good night, good night. I'm gonna pass out immediately after this stream, too. I did not sleep well last night. I gotta speed run this damn story so I can go to bed. Thanks for stopping by, gamer. Have a good night. Do I have any? All right, we'll put up the Faholic receipt. Actually, we'll look up Sun Scoops. All right. So let's Slash marker. SoCal car story. Oh, God. Oh, the water bottle did in fact upload? Hell yeah. I can't see it on my end in OBS, but I'm sure if you refresh in Twitch, it should be all good. Hell yeah. Thank you again, Scout. Much appreciated for the sub badges. And I was very appreciative of getting to stop by SoCal just a couple weekends ago for Rumble in SoCal or RISC. So I was there, and Saturday, there was no commentary to be had, both from me and Shuobu. So we were hanging out. We were like, he was like, oh, do you want to just like explore SoCal, like get haircuts, and then we'll just get like a bunch of food and like go to the arcade after? I'm like, that shit sounds awesome. I'm hella down. But the night before, I get in pretty late for my flight because I head in right after work. And it's like, with the layover, it ended up being, I think, 8 hours of travel. And even with traveling back in time from the time zones from East to West Coast, I ended up landing around midnight. And we still ended up getting food. And oh my God, I always forget the name of the place. I know it's called S&D. It's like a really tasty Korean spot in SoCal, but I totally forget the name. Did I just say go get haircuts? I did say go get haircuts. We got haircuts together. It was awesome. Well, it was something. So we're there. We get into the restaurant at midnight, and then, we finish dinner, I think, like 2 hours later. And it's delicious. We get this big-ass galbi for the table. It's a bunch of cheese, a bunch of meat, potatoes, carrots, the whole 9 yards. She was delicious. And kind of exactly what we needed at that time. So, hanging out. And we finally get back to, Shubu's place where we're crashing, I think by like 2:30, so reasonably, a lot of us like getting ready for bed, past that around 3, and there's an undercurrent of unrest. Because we realize, oh shit, we have to get up early. Why do we have to get up early? For the haircuts. Why do we have to get up early for the haircuts? Because our friend, Luce, wants to go to Bracket at 1 p.m, and this spot only has like a couple barbers. Right? So we got to get there pretty early. Unfortunately, because we got a little bit staggered in our queue timing, like we had to wait mad long. Without going into the whole story, like, it's a small shop, only a couple barbers, and they take like half an hour each. We got there at 8:30 and we finished the last haircut at 2:30, for the 5 of us. It was an insane adventure, to say the least. And it was only the first thing that we ended up doing that morning. So from sleeping at 3, heading out of the house at 8, getting there at 8:30, and then waiting for 6 hours, like, we were hangry, man. We were looking forward to food so bad. So we ended up going for pho. Wait a minute. These are banh mi's. What the hell am I looking at? Oh no, these are not banh mi's. I saw banh and I thought it was like banh mi. Never mind. Yeah, we went to go get pho, and we stopped by Phoholic. We got a bunch of food. We got, some very, very tasty pho. Unfortunately, they didn't actually have banh mi. I was like, oh man, I could eat a horse right now, man. I could have a pho and a banh mi. But they didn't have any, so I just ended up getting a bowl of pho and then a Vietnamese coffee. So we were hanging out, eating. And for some reason, I was like, oh, I just don't think I can, like, finish my bowl. I got really full, like, pretty fast. I don't know what's going on. And then I finished my coffee. I'm like, oh, it's the first coffee of the day. Like, I gotta head to the restroom. Like, business as usual. So I come back from the restroom and I'm like, my stomach still feels a little strange. I think I'm gonna hold off on finishing the rest of the pho. Maybe I'm still full from last night at S&D, right? Because we ate the whole like big bowl of galbi jim. And we check out, we head out. And Shuobu's like, all right, bros. It's time to go to Soon Scoops. I'm like, and I see a couple of them groan, and they're just like, what's the issue? We're gonna go for the Neopets collab. I'm like, that shit sounds so peak, man. So we head on over, and for those of you who weren't there for the initial SoCal story, it's got this like little mural off to the side, which is so crazy. I cannot believe they have the Kabedon mural, and I can't believe Nuts didn't want to take a picture with it. But I was informed afterwards that he already has a picture like this with this mural, so that's why he didn't want to do it again. That being said, I didn't take a picture with it. We head on in, and the stomach is still not feeling super great, especially after the car ride. We see the drive-through banh mi spot, and I'm like, damn, I wish I were hungrier, because I would just tell us to pull over and get one. But we drive over like 20 minutes to Soon Scoops, And, you know, we have the Neopets Cafe, and there's like so many different flavors, and I'm just like, what else? What did they have? Oh, they still have the Neopets collab? They do. Let me see if I can find some of the flavors that they had. They didn't have Choto Latte, but I would have tried it. Uube is the one that I got, because, like, my thought process, right? The stomach, not feeling too great. Let me just ice cream reset a little bit. Just give myself a little something to, you know, something sweet to settle whatever's going on, and then we'll vibe out for the rest of our day. I'm like, what's a hard flavor to fuck up? Ube is so good, even if it has a name like Uube. Surely, you know, it'll be good. So I picked that one up from the right side of the cabinet, and the store is like pretty packed. Right, so it's kind of like this line that's curving in as you head on in. We kind of have to wait outside for a little bit too, to wait for folks to clear out of, like, you know, the relatively small shop in the strip mall. And as people are walking out, we realize we have enough room to file in, so we do. And people are in front of kind of the ice chillers, so we can't really see much. We have to wait for them to head up. So I get one flavor from the right. I get Uube, and then on the left side, I don't think they have it here. But I'm like, oh, cherry, you know, cherry also is so hard to fuck up, right? Like, it's big chillin'. So I'm like, oh, can I get the Uube? And this dude has a smirk on his face. He's like, all right, yeah, man, what do you want for your other flavor? I'm like, can I get the cherry tail? And he's like, yeah, man, you can get the cherry tail. I'm like, please stop repeating the flavors. Like, just put the ice cream in the bag, man. And then, you know, we check out and everything, and we all get our ice cream, we head out. I take a bite into the cherry, and I'm like, this does not taste quite as good as I might have expected it to be. You know, I expected something a little bit more rich, a little bit more flavorful. But I bite in, and it's not the greatest thing in the world, right? And I'm like, you know, maybe I'll tough it through. But I get a quarter of the way through, I'm like, okay, I actively just do not like this. But the ube is underneath it. It's like completely covered up by it. So I have to eat more so that there's a window to get the ube. So I go from a quarter to a half, and I'm like, I cannot eat any more of this damn cherry tail, man. And Shubu looks at me, he's like, yeah, I should have mentioned the left cooler or the left chiller. Those flavors actually are dairy free, so it's not like, it's kind of like substitute ice cream in a sense. I was like, why didn't you tell me? He was like, oh, the labels are on the cabinet. I'm like, why didn't we end up seeing them? But because the store was so packed and everybody was standing in front of the ice chillers, there was no way for us to see which side was like the normal ice cream and which one was the dairy free. And you would think the dairy free would be chilling, but, you know, something about the flavor really just didn't sit right. And I already had a bit of a you know, questionable stomach situation. So I'm like, you know what? I'll tough it out. I'll just eat the ube from under it, and then I'll toss the rest of the cherry tail. Like, it's fine. All is well. No, I didn't say that about the labels. I actually just forgot. You know, it'd be like that, man. It happens. But yeah, I finished the ube under. You know, I get like 1.5 scoops in, and I'm like, all right, I think I've had my fill of ice cream for the day. And we're chilling out in the parking lot, and I'm like, yeah, nice. I think the ice cream has really settled my stomach. You know, the full feeling, you know, the ice. I think it's really chilled things down. And then as we're standing around in the parking lot, I think one of our friends is kind of like, you know, handing out gifts to some of the folks that are there, because, you know, he hasn't seen them in a while. He's like, oh, I'm gonna be busy for the rest of the year, so I got you guys like advanced Christmas presents. And we're like, oh shit, that's so nice. And me, having just met this person that day, I was like, oh man, you're so nice. Almost as nice as Fishy Jr. stopping on by with the raid. Thank you. But yeah, I was like, you know, oh yeah, if you don't have a present for me, like, you literally just met me today, so like there's no issue. But then, you know, after going around the circle, he like gives, you know, gift 1, gift 2, gift 3. He goes back into the car, and I'm like, wait, I'm the only one left. Like, is he just gonna drive off? He picks out this like small set of like you know, I guess like plastic rectangles is how I would describe it. He's like, okay, pick a number from 1 to 3. I'm like, 3? And then he shows his hand, and it's like 3 trading cards to promo the new Uma Musume movie. I was like, holy shit. I was like, wait, who did I get? And he's like, looks like you got Dansu Flame? I think she's pretty popular, right? I'm like, holy shit, wait, I love Dansu Flame. I was like, thank you, what the hell? You didn't have to get me anything. He's like, I mean, I'm getting everybody else something, and you're also a guest over here in, you know, on the West Coast, so thought it'd be rude not to get you something. I was like, that's very kind of you, thank you. So I have my little Dansu Flame card. I gotta get it out from my bag to make sure I don't lose it. But as I take the card from his hand, I feel the force of gravity just like pull my stomach down towards the center of the earth. I was like, oh no, what's happening to me? And the comfort, like the discomfort from the pho spot, the discomfort from, you know, eating the cherry tail, it was nothing compared to that moment. I was like, oh my god, like what is going on? Like I really just hope this shit passes, because this is super uncomfortable. Like my stomach is doing backflips right now. I don't know what's going on. And I'm, you know, if the feeling in the pho restaurant was like, you know, yellow card, some cause for alarm, but I'm just like mostly just uncomfy, like whatever. At this point, I'm like actively like looking around. I'm like, oh my god, do I need to use the restroom or something? Or like, you know, do I need to just like sit down? Like, I don't know what I need in this moment. I just know I'm super uncomfy. And at one point, a thought I had, there's like this open bar, and it's like 4 p.m., right? So there's really no one in there. I'm like, no, like there's no way I just need to go into this bar, run to the restroom, explain later, and just like pull trig, right? Like that seems like a pretty drastic thing to have to do. No, I'm not gonna do that, because I just met most of these people. That would be a weird thing to try and explain and then come back from. No, I think that's not socially acceptable. Let's lock in. Let's lock in and hang on. So I'm waiting for them to, you know, finish chatting, because we're gonna drive over to round 1 and stop by the Hololive collab. And I'm like, okay, I just gotta make it to the car. Just gotta sit down, and we're gonna be chilling. And we're walking back to the car from this parking lot. I step on like, you know, a little bit of an unpaved area. It's like dirt and grass, and my brain, you know, it just flashes the image of me like, you know, kneeling over and emptying the contents of my stomach. I'm like, no, I know. There's no reason I would need to do that. That's too extreme. And then it's gonna be weird to explain anyway. I get into the back of the car, and I just slowly close the door. I'm like, this might be the point of no return. Am I going to not listen to myself? Like, is this something that I need to figure out before I sit down? I'm like, no, I think I'll be okay, right? Like, I think I'll hold on. You know, I've held on this long. I close the door. We back out. And as soon as the car starts moving, I'm like, oh no. This feeling is just not going away, man. Boy, I sure hope it passes. But like a minute passes, 2 minutes, 3, and it's not getting any better. In fact, a tiny amount of it, I think it's getting 1% worse, 5% worse, 10%. I'm like, I might need to be ready for the worst. So I'm like, I'm code red, man. My eyes go like Arkham Asylum detective mode, just looking for any highlighted items that I can empty the contents of my stomach into. And I'm like, oh shit, oh god, what do I do? We're already on the highway. Like we can't just pull over now. And right between my feet, in the back seat, is this tied up plastic bag. And I'm like, oh god, this is not my plastic bag. I hope there's nothing valuable in there. Like, I'm drastically looking for anything else that seems, you know, inconspicuous, but I'm like, all right, if the worst happens, and the worst might happen, I gotta be ready. I pick up the plastic bag, I like shake it around a little bit. It's plastic bottles, but I'm like, oh fuck, is this something someone needs? I don't know. I unwrap it, and then as I'm unwrapping it, it rapidly if I was like 80%, if I was like 60% uncomfortable, it jumped to like 90%. So I put my hands on the bag, and immediately I'm like dex saving to unravel this damn plastic bag in the backseat. I open it up, I see plastic bottles. I'm like, oh, please don't be important. And as I'm about to just like lay my face in the bag just to feel a little bit better, you know, prep myself just in case, before I even realize, dude, a strange combination of pho and non-dairy cherry ice cream and real ube ice cream, which tasted delicious, and I'm sad that it had to leave my body, just expelled itself into the bag. And from the back seat, you just hear like a pained groan. And in sync, as I look up from the bag, I see Shuobu, I see Komome. Well, I do not see Komome look back because he's driving, but I see him look in the rear view, and they're like, "Oh my god, dude, are you okay? Like, are you gonna be alright?" I'm like, "My bad." The only thing I can mutter out is, "My bad." And they're like, "No, like, do you need us to like pull over or something, or like, oh my god, do we need to get you something?" I was like, "My bad." They're like, "Dude, what do you need?" I'm like, "No, I feel a lot better. Sorry, my bad." And I'm like shamefully just staring at the bottom of this bag that now, has much more than trash in it. And I'm like, oh, and I'm like, pulling out napkins from my bag. I'm like wiping my face. I'm like, "Dude, I'm sorry. I hope there was nothing in this bag that was important." He's like, "It was a trash bag." I'm like, "Oh, thank fucking God. Thank God that there was nothing important in the bag. Thank God there was a bag there to begin with, because the only alternative, to be 100% honest with you, was my fanny pack, like my shoulder sling." I was like, I really don't want to have to yak on the contents of everything that's in there, but if I really have to, I might just have to. But thank the Lord, fucking Kamome had a trash bag in the back that, saved my life. And it did, it was not the most pleasant smell in the world while we were driving out. So I rolled the window down. I was like, I want to throw this out as soon as possible. I am inconveniencing everybody else in the car here but me. I'm inconveniencing myself because I'm the one closest to it. But thankfully, the bag saved the day, and nothing was, not a single speck on the rest of the car. And when we finally made it to the round one, I opened the door immediately, I sprint, and I toss that shit into the trash. I'm like, this shit cannot linger a second longer. I run back to the car. Shuobu and Komome are like, "How you feeling, buddy?" I'm like, "I'm chewing 3 sticks of gum at the same time right now. Like, I'm just glad that shit's over." And we're like, "So you're still good to go to round one?" And we're like literally right outside of it. I'm like, "Yeah, let's go play some crane games." We headed in. I did not get any of the big Hololive plushies, but I did get a small Ina charm for my troubles. So we survived the day. Thankfully, the SoCal car story could have been much, much worse. Were it not for a couple lucky coincidences, but Jesus Christ, man. If I failed the deck save in that moment, if there was no trash bag to begin with, like, shit could have gone south real fast, but it's not south, it's the East Coast. What's up, NYCZ Brandon? Thank you for the follow. What's good, gamer? I thought this car story would have to do with Jerry's driving. Yeah, I regret to inform you, it has nothing to do with Jerry's driving. I don't know. It was probably a combination of, jet lag and bad sleep and like a curious combination of foods in like 12 hours, And then mixing that all with coffee, like I think my poor fragile body just could not hang. So unfortunate, I kind of had to, because Kamome had just met me like the night before, and technically, when did I meet Chubu? I met him like very briefly at Frosty's like this year, but otherwise like we have not really hung out. We've like yapped online a bit, but I was like, oh, this is an awful first IRL impression to hang out, man. I couldn't even make it halfway through the day. Holy shit. But thankfully they were cool about it. Like, it was funny. We got back that night. I was like, thank you guys for being kind to me in my moment of weakness. And Koame is like, yeah, sorry, man. When it happened, like, I just like laughed. Like, I couldn't help myself. It was just a reaction that came to mind. Like, I hope that wasn't mean. I'm like, there were 20 other much meaner things you could have done than laugh. So I'm glad that that's what you chose. He's like, all right, man, I'm glad you're feeling better. And thankfully, the rest of Rumble in SoCal was very fun. Up on excluding that brief, few hour period where I was like, holy shit, I'm seeing red. I don't know what's going to happen to me. you know, the food outings were very fun. The ice cream was delicious, all things considered. I just didn't have the stomach for it. And then, yeah, commentary was also very fun. So, Rumble in SoCal, overall a dub, despite a curious situation in a car. So that is the SoCal car story. I did survive SoCal, yeah. SoCal wanted to kill me at all costs, but unfortunately for them, I lived. I'll probably try and be back. I'm looking at Awaited Fate. I'm looking at Slashback up in NorCal as well, so hopefully I'm able to make my return. It's gonna be hard. There's a lot of events that I want to go to this year. I feel like every year there's more events that I want to go to, and my PTO stays the same, but we'll see how we can budget. There's always a car event in SoCal. You know, I can't complain about my car event. The only thing that happened was I inconvenienced the other people in the car with an unfortunate smell for a little bit. But, you know, I didn't have to pay rental car cleaning fees, so that was awesome. And considering the other, you know, the other SoCal car stories, like, I think I got off pretty scot-free. It wasn't even the worst smell that weekend. Oh, God, you're right. You're actually right. That Saturday happened and you still called it a dub. When someone asked you, "Oh, how was you know, the haircut incident into food?" and you were like, "Objectively, that shit was ass, but the vibes were good." So like, yeah, I guess we'll take it. I was like, that shit's so real. Vietnamese coffee shop at Slashback. The way I learned what that was so insane, man. Damn, if people come to Crossover Arc and Crossover Arc ends up being in New Jersey, I gotta take these dudes to Hooters. Not that it's even like a New Jersey exclusive thing, I just think it would be funny. The wings are very good. They're quite tasty. FGC Hooters trip sounds hilarious. You gotta like select your party real carefully. You know what I'm saying? You pull up with the wrong team comp and bad things are going to happen, methinks. Shubu and Komoe, I think, would be in my party. I could trust Shino. I could trust Ricer. You know, I would bring Ricer. Because I would be like... I would embarrass Ricer at the Hooters. He would not have me in his party, but I would bring Ricer in a heartbeat. The wings are good, man. But it's a curious place to be, I'll tell you that much.